Hi everyone, my name is Jonathan Mark Pilaes and my advocacy is about going greener. Green and sustainable are terms that point to environmental awareness, preserving natural resources. Green is strictly concerned with the environmental health, while sustainability is with economic stability, environmental health, and social benefits. These two terms were already made known to public, encouraging them to take part, making them realize that whether they care or not, whether they like it or not, they are part of it and that they are involved. If Mother Nature thrive, we thrive. If Mother Nature falter, we also falter. I would like to take this time to ask world leaders to strengthen their eco-friendly policies and greener choices that would hopefully impact the environment over time. Our choices of today will be the byproducts of our tomorrow. Let us encourage people to protect our environment so that our environment will also protect us.
Hi, I'm Jose and I'm here to share to you my advocacy about building a better globalization. So how can we improve globalization? The solution is we need to reinvest in dislocated communities, lower the cost and barriers to trade, much smaller firms with foreign markets, match communities with foreign investors, ensure unfettered access to cross-border digital platforms, provide greater safety net measures, update our system of unemployment insurance, and more. According to DZ Winegondo, evidence suggests that globalization has a positive effect on the country's economic growth and employment. In particular, trade openness and foreign portfolio flows have contributed to higher per capita GDP growth in the world, following the implementation of FX liberalization reforms. We can't undo globalization, but we can improve it. What is global citizenship? And what makes a person a global citizen? A global citizen is someone who is conscious of and understands their place in the larger world. Global citizenship, according to Oxfam, is all about enabling young people to gain the knowledge, skills, and values they need to engage with the rest of the world. It's also about believing that each of us can make a difference. A global citizen is someone who perceives himself or herself as a member of a developing global community, and whose action assess to define the values and practices of that community. Humans have always built communities around shared identities throughout history.
Humans strive to create a perfect life in this imperfect life. Yet, somehow, a significant part of the world is still kept in the dark. As we move closer to our goal, we build bridges to make use of our intelligence and wealth, but this makes everything inaccessible to the unprivileged, marginalized, and poor. According to the Persecuted 2020, social injustice remains a pressing issue in every corner of the world. Every day, a white man earns 7 times more than an average black American. Muslims carry the lingering air of frustration and discrimination from people who see them as morally responsible for the Taliban's action. Every day, a member of LGBTQ community is publicly oppressed, while a woman suffers under the gaze of a harasser. What does the perfect life mean? How do our inventions, innovations, ideas, and accomplishments help people? To me, the world still seems heavily flawed. To fight, we speak up. We use our voice not because it is our responsibility, but because we have the privilege to use it. The people at the edge of the economy suffers the most from the risk of political ventures. Listen to them and cooperate to identify the source of social injustice and fix that system. Listen to me because I may be small, but I am aware. I acknowledge that the world is more significant than me, but it needs every help it could get. Strength is rooted in love and compassion. Use it to strive for a better world for everyone.
Hello everyone, I'm Narayan Sitamanov, and for this video, I'm going to tackle about climate change. Climate change is the greatest environmental challenge the world ever faced, but you can do something about it. We're the last generation that can stop devastating climate change. We have the knowledge and the tools. We just need politicians to lead the way. We know climate change is happening, and we know that it is caused by our action. The Earth's atmosphere is warming faster than it probably ever has. In some cases, weather patterns, climate, and natural environment are changing quicker than wildlife or people can adapt. So many of the world's biggest challenges from poverty to wildlife extinction are made more difficult by climate change. And things will get worse if we do nothing, but we can do something about it. We have the knowledge and the technology to reduce our impact on the climate. and easing the pressures on the world's most vulnerable places. People and wildlife, we just need to make it happen. As environmental problem go, PR has a big and complex as a climate change. It is a fascinating and important issue to work on. Climate change is one of the biggest threats faced by our natural world and also top social economic issue. It is something we can leave to future generations to clean up.
Equity issues in policy making are difficult to resolve because they're linked not only to the economic situations but also to social constraints and political conflicts within a country. This is even more true in the case of post-socialist economies during their transition to the market system in the era of globalization. While globalization contributes to the long-term acceleration of economic growth and offers a chance for many countries and regions to catch up with more advanced economies, it results in growing inequality both between the countries and within them. On average, the standard of living increases, but so does the gap between the rich and the poor. Therefore, equality issues should always be of concern to policymakers, especially in the early years of the change of regime in post-socialist transitions economies.
According to Global Health Advocacy Incubator, the advocates are the most important aspect of an advocacy. When the community is provided with necessary resources, it will provide and ensure a healthier future. Sustainability as a notion acknowledges that environment is a global commodity. As a result, it is critical to use the environment and its resources wisely and to protect it for the benefit of the earth, our environment, humanity, and all living things. Sustainability enhances the quality of our lives by upholding the ecosystem and retaining natural resources for the future generations. Going green and sustainable is not only beneficial in the short term, it also optimizes in the long-term benefits of an environmental focus.
Universal primary education is a serious concern and a big problem in many states. Many developing countries lack of financial needs to construct schools, provide instructional materials, and hire trained teachers. The assurance made by international community are frequently insufficient to allow countries to build an education system that serves all children. Many various education levels are crowded into one class as a result of overcrowding, preventing each child from receiving an education customized to their particular requirements and talents. As a result, the number of dropouts and students who fail to complete their education continues to rise. For millions of children around the world, education is still an accessible opportunity. More than 72 million children in primary school are not enrolled. Global education is a challenge that will not be solved completely until everyone helps. Governments, school systems, and parents must collaborate to ensure that children receive the educational opportunities they deserve. To guarantee that children get the education they deserve, government, schools, and parents need to work together.
Hi, I'm Sharabel, and here's my speech about the advocacy of poverty. One of the advocacy methods that first comes to mind with the topic of fighting global poverty is volunteering. Volunteering for a local group working to bring awareness to global poverty and other organizations working in other countries. To address issues with the global poverty, also, according to the development of sustainable adopted by the world leaders, officially come into the phase over the next 15 years with these new goals that universally apply all the countries. Well, mobilize efforts to end all forms of poverty, right inequalities, and take among poverty, while ensuring that no one is left behind. In the case of the global poor, an advocate is also who supports, defends, and promotes human rights, and those support in extreme poverty when they support policies that lead to struggling population, stricken with hunger, disease, and the lack of access to evolution and sanitation. Thank you.